In the top stories, Prime Minister Drew tackles national issues during roundtable with the media. Civil servants educated about new payment schedule, and Prime Minister Drew condemns persons who politicize crime and violence. The details on these stories and more after the break.
Boom! Join in the experience with Courts Ready Cash for the Syncits Music Festival with a loan of $3,000 or more and pay nothing for 60 days. Plus, you could be eligible for a reduced interest rate. Don't miss out. Enjoy flexible payment terms, hassle-free service, and fast approval. All you need is your ID, proof of address, payslip, job letter, and 2 references. That is the day. Apply now. Visit shopcoats.com or call 466-1640 or 662-9425. Get your full Syncits Music Festival experience with Courts Ready Cash. We are ready whenever you are. Conditions apply.
In cricket, there are a few essentials: a bat, a pitch, a ball, some fielders, and plenty of refreshments. Enjoy the cricket with Angostura Chill. Angostura Chill, the official refreshment partner of the Hero CPL T20.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. I'm Carla Barrage. The recent meeting with U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, national security and tourism were among the topics discussed when Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Terrence Drew met with members of the media during a roundtable discussion on Tuesday morning. Regarding the meeting with Vice President Harris, Dr. Drew noted that topics covered included security, Caribbean climate investment, and issues of food security. He thanked the U.S. government for that country's commitment to work with Caribbean leaders to meet shared goals and objectives.
But my intervention was centered around one, security and security in the Caribbean, and what the Caribbean and U.S. can do to further enhance our cooperation for the security of the region. And that bore significant fruits, and a number of announcements were made which are already having significant impact on our national security here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And so I want to thank the U.S. government, and especially the Vice President, for her commitment and her country's commitment to share, to be partners, rather, with Caribbean leaders where we can meet our shared goals and objectives.
On the topic of tourism, the Prime Minister expressed optimism for the start of JetBlue service to the Federation. He said the year-round service to New York is expected to positively impact the tourism sector, providing a steady stream of visitors with no slowdown even in the summer.
We estimate that this would add significantly to the improvement of tourist arrival here in St. Kitts and Nevis. It would help with occupancy, and of course the economic spin-off would be significant as well. And so I want to congratulate the Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Marsha Henderson, and her team who is doing an excellent job to make sure that tourism continue to thrive.
Regarding national security, the Prime Minister commended the police for the work they have been doing to bring the issue of gun violence under control.
I want to say that the police has quickly responded, and they have done a lot to really bring the issue under some significant control, and they have also been able to get 2 persons not arrested but charged in very quick time. And I want to congratulate Commissioner Sutton and his team for working so quickly. They have a plan and a strategy, and I think it will work, and it is working.
The Prime Minister also noted plans to revamp the peace program to eliminate what he called corruption as a result of monetizing the program. The roundtable discussion with the media was carried live on ZIZ radio, television, and various social media platforms. As the government prepares to roll out fortnightly salary payments, the offices of the Accountant General and Human Resources held an open day on Tuesday at Warner Park to sensitize the public of the changes and what they mean for commitments such as loan payments. According to the Human Resources Office, fortnightly payments will be made on the 14th and 28th of each month, beginning in July. Chief Personnel Officer in the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, Deshaid Doer, gave an example of how the new schedule would impact these payments.
All monthly deductions will now be paid twice. So, for example, if you're paying a loan that was $10 per month, $5 will be sent to your financial institution on the 14th, and the other $5 will be sent on the 28th of that month.
While monthly deductions will be paid on salary payment days, a representative of National Caribbean Insurance explained that payments will be reflected on individuals' accounts after the second payment is made. If the payment days fall on weekends, payments would be made on the preceding Friday. If either of those payment days fall on a holiday, payments would be made on the previous working day. Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Terence Drew has denounced the actions by some persons in society who are attempting to politicize the recent uptick in gun-related crimes in the country. Speaking during Monday's sitting of the National Assembly, Prime Minister Drew reaffirmed his government's commitment to addressing the problem holistically. He also reminded citizens and residents that the issue of crime and violence is a national matter.
I've been in the politics for about a decade. My first time in Parliament, and I never ever sought to make crime and violence a political issue. And the reason for that is because I'm a medical doctor and I understand the underlying causes of these things. And these issues are national issues and should be treated as such. And that is why I want to call on the people of St. Kitts and Nevis that we should work together to make sure that we deal with this scourge once and for all.
It is against this backdrop that the Prime Minister noted that his government is taking a more comprehensive look at the issue of crime and violence.
We must know, and we have been given the information for decades now, that this is an issue in the Caribbean that has to be dealt with from its root. I went to a symposium as the Prime Minister, and also as the Minister of National Security in Trinidad, where we sought to look at crime and violence from a public health perspective. It is a broad concept, but it is a concept that has been well studied scientifically and will deliver results. As I speak, my advisor, Dr. Patrick Martin, would have met with the press to further explain what this is. And the task force has been put together for us to deal with it. An aspect of it is an all-society approach. But this time, we will apply the scientific approach to it so that we can achieve what we want to achieve.
The task force is chaired by Prime Minister Drew and is comprised of renowned consultant psychiatrist Dr. Isben Williams and senior management officials from across the government. Prime Minister Drew said the government will also ensure that the national security apparatus is equipped with the necessary resources to fully arrest the criminal elements that threaten the peace and security of citizens and residents.
The Ministry of National Security has been doing a number of critical things, including support from regional and international partners, and that has resulted in some very positive developments. No resource will be held back from this ministry to ensure that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis are safe, including our visitors when they come here.
The Prime Minister used the occasion to urge the nation's youth to choose more positive outlets for their energies and to seize the opportunities available to them in areas such as the orange economy, the arts, agriculture, and the various educational avenues available to them. As the police force continues to intensify and expand its efforts to curb incidences of criminal activity in St. Kitts and Nevis, additional surveillance cameras have been installed in key areas in McKnight. These efforts began on June 10th, following the announcement of administrative and tactical adjustments to be made by Commissioner of Police James Sutton. Among those changes was the High Command's decision to suspend all personal leave and vacation for police and significantly increase the number of community patrols nationwide. To further boost these changes, the police force is also expanding its upgrading its national CCTV monitoring system. In the coming weeks, additional surveillance cameras will be installed in communities around the country. Those previously installed will be upgraded to ensure law enforcement officers are provided with critical technical support at all times. According to the police, the primary goal is the establishment and maintenance of an atmosphere of peace, safety, and security in the Federation. The police continue to remind the general public to report any criminal activity to law enforcement. After the break, Prime Minister Drew wants to review minimum wage, and we have the autopsy results for Matthew Morgan and Johnson Belil. Stay with us.
I wonder if Auntie will be able to figure out this riddle. Let's see. Auntie, I have a riddle for you.
Let's hear it.
Where can you shop and get cash back in free groceries for a year?
Huh? Where can you shop and get cash back in free groceries for a year?
Come on, Auntie, you should know this.
I really can't think what the answer could be.
It's SL Housewords, duh.
How do you know this?
Because Mom shops there all the time.
Come here, you little nosy prince.
Riddle that cashback. It's that time of the year. Cashback season is here. Get cashback coupons for free groceries with every hire purchase at Housewords Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. Plus, a chance to win free groceries for a year.
There is no better time to discover what your National Bank Visa debit or black cards can do.
Mimi, what's that song?
It can get you out of a pickle. Using my National Bank Visa card is fast, secure, and convenient.
Cashless SKN is our new lifestyle choice. National Bank, always here.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Terence Drew has proposed the formation of a committee to review and possibly increase the minimum wage in St. Kitts and Nevis. During the roundtable meeting with members of the media on Tuesday, Prime Minister Drew said it is high time that the minimum wage was reviewed to better match the cost of living.
Workers in St. Kitts and Nevis have not received a minimum wage adjustment for almost a decade. I think the last time was 2013, 2014, so it's about a decade. And you ask yourself, why haven't anything come? Why, so how you could pass a decade and not adjust the minimum wage? That is a serious question to be asked. And therefore, there have to be a committee in place. And I would like there to be a committee that is even independent of the government. So it doesn't matter which administration is in. And they will do a review of the minimum wage and present it. And so this is our recommendation, looking at the whole of the economy and so forth.
He said the cabinet will be taking steps to put laws in place to ensure that the minimum wage is regularly reviewed and adjusted if necessary.
I, as the Minister of Finance, will then ask the AG to look at the legislation surrounding that, look at where this might be practiced so we don't have to invent the wheel, but to make sure that the minimum wage of our people and is always looked at, and the best possible recommendation is put forward.
Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Terence Drew. The police have released the autopsy results of 2 recent homicide victims. Resident pathologist Dr. Adrian Nunes performed autopsies on the bodies of shooting victims, 20-year-old Vishon Matthew Morgan of Taylor's Village and K. Johnson Belil on June 12, 2023. As it relates to Vishon Matthew Morgan, Dr. Nunes concluded that death was as a result of hypovolemic shock due to bilateral hemothorax, which is the collection of blood between the chest wall and lungs due to a single gunshot wound to the chest. With regards to K. Johnson Belil, Dr. Nunes concluded that death was as a result of hypovolemic shock due to massive right hemothorax due to a single gunshot wound to the back. On June 5th, Matthew Morgan and Johnson Belil were shot by armed assailants who were in a vehicle while they were in the Dorset area. Both succumbed to their injuries at the scene. Firefighting technology has improved tremendously. That's according to Fire Substation Officer FSO Timothy Martin during his appearance on ZIZ Radio's program Fire Talk on Tuesday. He was speaking about advancements in technology that have enhanced the tools used to execute the duties of the Fire and Rescue Service officers. FSO Martin spoke of the modernization of the fire trucks used, noting that they are now more computer-based.
Let's say, for example, our fire trucks. All right, our fire trucks, they are more modernized. They are more computer based, and is no longer just the normal stick shift that you engage once ago. It's more computerized. So that's one aspect.
He added that they have also seen technological improvements in their breathing apparatus basset.
You could also look at our BA sets, breathing apparatus, right? No longer they're not as simple as they were back then, with just maybe the high pressure, low pressure hose, a bell, and it sounds off whenever the ear is depleting. Now you have within the face mask, you have like headlights display where it actually you see a bar,
an indicator,
giving you the various levels as to the air in your oxygen tank.
FSO Martin also mentioned how the enhancement of the BA set can save a firefighter's life.
If a firefighter goes into a structure and let's say for some reason he collapses and no one recognizes that he is down, he would have just stayed there until whether someone says, hey, I haven't seen Mr. Martin, or someone happened to pass by and see him. Now, in this day and age, our BA sets are equipped with an alarm device that if the firefighter does not move within a certain time frame, it sends off an alarm, and that is one of the most annoying alarms that you could hear. So for any firefighter hear that noise, definitely, hey, something is wrong with one of my co-workers. I need to go and check on it.
Fire Talk airs every Tuesday on ZIZ Radio at 9:30 a.m. during the morning show with GQ. St. Kitts and Nevis will receive 50 first-generation U-bikes thanks to the partnership between the Embassy of St. Kitts and Nevis in the Republic of China, Taiwan, and the Taipei City government. A brief handing over ceremony was held on June 9th, 2023 at the Taipei City Hall. Speaking at the event, the Federation's resident ambassador to Taiwan, His Excellency Danya Francis, thanked Taipei Mayor Chiang Wan-an and the Taipei City government for the donation. Ambassador Francis explained that the 51st generation U-bikes will not only enhance St. Kitts and Nevis's efforts to become a sustainable island state, but also encourage more physical activity among the citizens and residents. The first generation U-bikes are being operated in other cities and counties around Taiwan, while the second generation U-bikes operate in Taipei. Both Ambassador Francis and Mayor Chiang highlighted the mutually beneficial friendship and cooperation St. Kitts and Nevis and Taiwan have enjoyed for almost 40 years. A week ago, the embassy in Taiwan launched its Sharing Kindness and Nurturing Love #SKN Love outreach program in commemoration of the Federation's 40th independence anniversary and 40th year of diplomatic relations with Taiwan. Coming up in